Oh, Pilar. Thank God, for a minute I thought it was Julian.
Perhaps it would have been a blessing if Mr. Crane were the one who heard you.
Don't even think that, Pilar. Although my overconfident husband has no reason to believe he has to eavesdrop on me. No. He's far too busy congratulating himself on besting me over these photographs of him and Eve.
If you continue to behave so recklessly, he's bound to discover the truth. I should think that you would be more careful.
You're right. I was so caught up in my daydream that I didn't even realize I was speaking out loud.
Only daydreams would content you, Mrs. Crane.
Stop fussing at me, Pilar. Especially when I'm this close to being with Sam again.
I do not want to hear it.
Well, too bad. You work for me and I want someone to talk to. So stay. Please.
What happened when you went to the Russells' house?
You mean before or after T.C. went on his verbal tirade about the tramp that was on the photo in his computer?
Dear God, I prayed that somehow you would come to your senses and stop this madness before it was too late.
Did you?
It is a terrible thing to break up a marriage, Mrs. Crane.
Well, as of this moment, I haven't broken up any marriage, nor do I intend to. As I have said many times, Sam can keep his casserole queen, and I will somehow find the stomach to uphold my wedding vows to Julian. I can do anything as long as I can see Sam from time to time, as long as I have his love to keep me going.
What about the Russells' marriage? I thought you said T.C. saw the photograph of Eve with Mr. Crane.
Oh, he did. Eve saw it too. But he didn't know who he was looking at. Before I scanned the photo into the computer, I blocked out the faces.
But I thought you wanted him to see the photograph of Eve with Mr. Crane. Why did you make them unrecognizable?
Because I get more mileage out of the photograph this way. Oh, and I thought I could just scare Eve into helping me.
Did it work?
Oh. She was trembling like a leaf before she realized that T.C. didn't know who he was looking at.
Then I take it she's agreed to help you get Sam Bennett.
Not yet. But when Eve finally absorbs the full ramifications of what the truth will do to her family, she'll come around. You know I'm right, Pilar. Eve does as I ask. Then T.C. and the girls never have to know about her affair with Julian. Life can go on as usual with the Russells.
And you honestly believe that Sam will agree to a quiet affair with you while he stays married to Grace?
Yes. Why wouldn't he?
Because he is Sam Bennett, one of the most decent, loving, morally upstanding men on this earth. A man who would never cheat on his wife, no matter what temptation you throw at him.
Well, we'll see about that.
What about your life and your marriage? You have a lot to lose if it ever comes out that you haven't loved Mr. Crane since the day of your wedding. That instead you've loved a man who became a cop.
Oh, one night with Sam would make up for all those hideous years I have spent married to Julian. Don't you understand that, Pilar?
I do understand that you do not realize how dangerous it is to push Dr. Russell up against the wall with no means of escape.
Eve has a way out. All she has to do is help me.
Yes, and stab her best friend in the back in the process. That is not a way out. You have given her an ultimatum that will lead to your own destruction.
If you're trying to scare me, Pilar, it won't work. The only thing that Eve can do to me is tell Julian I've made a fool out of myself for running after Sam.
That doesn't frighten you?
No. After all of Julian's tacky affairs with even tackier women, you know, he'll probably just laugh at me for my failed attempt with Sam. Oh, and Alistair, well, he would never allow Julian to end our marriage. Imagine what that would do to the stock prices of Crane Industries.
Then what about Ethan? What do you think he will think of your pursuit of Sam Bennett?
He might be a bit disconcerted at first. But since he's been home, he realized that my marriage to Julian is not what he thought. He knows I've put up with a lot. I don't think he's going to blame me a bit.
That's not what I meant. And you know it. What if Ethan starts asking questions about your past?
No, Pilar. That fear is not going to work. That fear has kept me from happiness far too long. No one knows, not Sam, not anyone else knows what my wedding night brought me. You and I are the only two people who know.
So far.
You promised me you would never tell anyone.
You're hurting me, Mrs. Crane.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but you know what that secret means to me.
I gave you my word long ago. I will never tell a soul, not as long as I live.
Well, there it is then. There's nothing Eve can do to me. Nothing.
I think you are underestimating Dr. Russell. Desperate people do desperate things. I am sorry for you, Mrs. Crane, because you are headed down a path that is certain to bring disaster upon 3 families.
So you think that Eve is going to help me, don't you?
I pray she can summon the courage to come up with another solution. One that will stop you from causing so much grief.
Frankly, I can't think of one. And as long as I'm alive, Eve has a problem. I don't plan on dying anytime soon.